Hi, good morning, guys. It snowed last night. Yeah, so I am cleaning my car. The roads are done, which is good, but I have to clean my car. So a quick run to the store and get back in this house. It is 20 degrees and it's supposed to drop down to 3. It's winter. My least favorite season, but we're gonna clean this car and get out of this weather and get back into my warm, cozy house. So I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Alright guys, so I'm back home and yeah, it's warm in here. So anyway, I am going to be showing you guys my plants. It's a request. I've gotten this request a few times before and I never quite got to it, but I figure let me get to it and then I'm gonna go and show you guys 5 big books that I want to read in 2025. Preferably most of them I want to get through during the cold season, perhaps beginning of spring as well. So let's start with the plants, and I'm going to start with my oldest plant. Now this plant over here is Vivian. Now Vivian I've had for probably 7 maybe 8 years, and Vivian always seemed like she's gonna die on me, but then she get it together. So I'm gonna turn the camera around so I can focus more on Vivian than me. All right, so Vivian right now is in this corner because it's close to the window, but Vivian is growing weird, and so I need to get a stick to put in to have her stand up. I'm not sure why she's doing this to me, but Vivian is looking, you know, she has a habit of looking like she's gonna die, and then she'll just start springing up new leaves. Like these are all new leaves up here. All of this is new leaves. So she will do this to me around this time of the year. She loves spring, she loves summer, and sometimes in that time of the year I'll put her outside. All right, the next plant, which is right across from her, is Lily. And Lily is another plant that does the same thing. She's looking really good right now, but let me tell you, she got moments where I have no idea what she's missing, what she wants, but you can see how healthy the leaves look. A lot of new leaves are going on right here, and she looks very healthy. And every once in a while, she will give me a flower when it comes to spring and summertime. But then she'll go to the motion as well, where she's just looking really shabby. Again, these are my oldest plants, and I call them moody. They're mood plants, and Lily, she will show out on me. On my bookshelf, I have 4 plants. So on each end, we have Tony and Terry. And these hanging plants I've had for a while as well. They are growing. So if you can see, she is all the way down here. I got these plants because I wanted my bookshelf to look like a jungle. And if you can see, it looked like a jungle. Then I got this plant over here. I want to say she's been here for 2.5, maybe 3 years, and you can see she was the final touch to the jungle theme. So you can see all of this going on here, all of this. I mean, she down here too. This is her as well. Down here. I wanted this. This is the imagination I had for my bookshelf. I wanted to look like the secret garden, but bookshelf. And I think I did a really good job with that. I do have one other plant that's over here. And Miss Sting here was acting like she was ready to give up too. And you can see all this new growth. Look at all these. These are new. All of these sprang up out of nowhere. You can tell the difference between the older plants, which are these, and then these. So again, I find that with a lot of my plants, I try not to stress out when they start doing something funny. I don't stress out about it. Here it is where a bulk of my plants are, and I have 2 new plants that I got this year that were gifted to me. So, which is this baby over here, which I'm going to probably move her, but she's chilling. she's chilling. Then I have this over here. This plant, I have no idea how that happened, but this baby right here did something to this, because I add nothing in this soil. I had some old plant that had died, and I left the soil and the container right there, and I did nothing. And then all of a sudden I got, you see the two plants and then the new one that's coming up. So sometimes things will happen. Then this is one that I potted from, I'm gonna show you the mama in a minute. I have a bunch that's, you know, I'm trying to, you know, grow. I have this one here, forgot the name of this plant, remind me, which is this one. And she's another one that would start spring up and doing some things. Don't know why, but this is her cousin right here. That's her cousin, same plant but different color. Then we have over here snake plant, but she's beautiful. She's just doing something now. Again, this is a cousin over here. She act a fool sometimes. She wild over here. She on the floor. It looks terrible over this side, but I leave her alone because she's always springing up new leaf. I just leave her alone. Then we have this beautiful bird of paradise that sometimes annoy me because she's doing a lot of this. She starts folding and then she'll stop. This one folded all the way up. I was so proud. This one stalled like 2 years ago. Somebody said I can help it. These two haven't unraveled yet. This one looked like it started and then it stopped. I have no idea why some of them are not completely unraveling, but with my plants, I let them be. I don't do too much. I just recently potted her and gave her a bigger pot. The pot she was in before was too small, and she seems to love it. There's some growth going on here as well, I noticed. So there's probably another one that's going to come up. But where they at, sunroof, so they get a lot of sun in this area, and I really love this whole setup that I have over here. It's just my wow. So I have other plants right there that I leave alone, the succulent, and she can definitely need some water, but she's another one that really don't get a lot of love. I forget that she's even there, but she's been there for at least 6-7 years, and she does that to me sometime, and then she'll spring up some new stuff. So yeah, we have this table over here, my junk table. Yes, disregard all of this. I'm going to be doing my end of the year cleaning soon, so I will put away all the extra junk. But for right now, she is, I will call, mama of a lot of my plants, and she is wild as hell. She is all over the place. She's hanging off. She's doing the most. She's forever growing, forever growing, forever growing, forever growing. You see all these new leaves? She's always growing, always growing, always growing. And I do not stress when she starts, you know, having her moment. Whatever leaf comes off, I just comes off and dump it, and I let her be, because she's gonna grow. Over here is another plant that will stress me out because she lets me know when she needs water. She is the most water plant. Most of my plants I only water, I'll talk about that in a few, but this one, she needs a little bit more water per week than all the other plants. And if she doesn't get enough water, she will let you know. And there are times where I find that I'm thinking she's dead, like dead. And then give her some nice water down, and within 2 days she's looking like nothing happened. This other plant down here don't get a lot of love, but she is that plant that's been around for at least 7 maybe years. She's been around a long time, long time. Got to show you this plant that my neighbor gave me that I had in a cup for too long. I transferred over, so I'm just watching her to see how she's gonna function. But so far, you know, she's still here. My fault, because I really should have had her over here longer. So I'm gonna have to get something to hold her up, because but then I've found out with plants like this, over time they'll stand up on their own. Over here I have my big snake plant, and she's been around for a while and she's thriving. She's surviving. I only water her once a week and she's fine. This is a temperamental plant that at one point there was only 2 leaves on there. I think most people struggle with this plant. I don't see a lot of people who are able to have this plant in their home without it dying. Nevertheless, after a while, she started growing. So all these were new leaves that came about eventually, and you know, it's growing. So this plant is another one I only water once a week. Doesn't matter the season. I have a routine with her and it's working where she's still alive. Every now and then she does this, but for the most part she'll survive. And I only water her once a week. So this is what her soil usually look like, and I leave it at that. Over here is another plant that she's just growing, not as lot, but she has 2 new leaf. So 2 new leaf came up this year, and actually more than 2. So basically you could tell the new leaves, they have the white stripe on them. These are the new leaves, and I would say this happened within a year. These new leaves came up, but this is a slow growth and it's not directly in the sun, but I love what she's in, and she's been doing me good and I have no complaints. I just leave her be. She's a little dusty, so she might need to get a little bit of wipe down love, which I don't do often because I do not like stressing my plants. But every so often I will wipe them down if they get real dusty, and she needs a little wipe down. And then over here is 2 plants that been around forever. And when I say forever, this one is probably right after Vivian. They've been around. When I started this one, it only had 1 part, which is the big one, and then all of a sudden it sprung 2. So this and this one, and I refuse to repot her into a bigger pot. I just give her a little bit of soil every so often, and I water her once a week, and that's it. And I'm not doing anything extra to her. Same thing with this one. I'm not trying to get them bigger. I just feel like they just need to live and just be free. I have this one that's hanging off, and she is watered. She might have a back, so if you look underneath you will see that there's water coming. So she has water. I try not to water her too often this time of the year. I watch her leaf to see how she's doing. When she start draping a little, I know I need to add a little water, so she probably gonna need a little bit of water, but not much. And she's another one that does the same thing. She goes through that period of time where she start yellowing like this, the leaf drop off, and then all of a sudden you see a bunch of new growth, because there's new growth already happening here. So there's growth coming in. But I will just wait till this dry up a little bit more, and I'll just take the leaves off and just let it be, and then she'll start going crazy on me. So right now she's calm. But she'll go crazy and just start like growing out of control, and I have to cut her and put her in other things. So, which is her over here. This was part of her over here that I have hanging off here. When she gets too long, I put her in different areas. So that is my plants. So I am a plant person where majority of my plants during the summer gets about twice a week, depends on the kind of plant it is. Again, this plant back here, she's only once a week regardless of the season. I don't overwater her, and I watch how her soil look, because again, she's temperamental, very temperamental. But again, as well as snake plants, I try not to overwater them. I've did that before and I lost a plant. So once a week That's it. I allow my plants to have its moment. So I don't panic anymore if I see the yellowing leaf or I see it's getting dry. Because I find that over time I realize with everything, it's like a shedding thing for some plants. They're going to have their moment, and then they'll start growing beautiful again. And then you're like, wow. But so I am, I guess we call a moderate plant person. I love plants. I'm always like wanting to grow, wanting to see plants in my house. It makes me feel good. I love my bookshelf looking like a forest. I am here for my bookshelf looking like a forest. And I love that I get plants now that people give to me and add. I've been to my friend's house, and a lot of them are super worse than I am in terms of plants. But I'm limited. And the reason why I don't have more plants than I would like is because I don't get a lot of sunlight in certain parts of my house. And I've tried growing plants in my bedroom. I have one plant in my bedroom, which I'm not going to show you because she's a struggle plant now. But this time of the year, she do get a lot of sun. But when it comes to summer and spring, my bedroom do not get a lot of sunlight because I am surrounded by trees in where my house is, and once those trees come in, it gets very dark and not a lot of sunlight. So my plants that I try to grow in my bedroom do not survive. Same thing with my living room. I also don't have real plants. I have a faux plant in my living room because real plants do not survive in my living room as well, because I would have to have the windows open at all time, and that's not happening. So I am limited to where I put plants, but I tend to put plants in areas that I know sunlight's going to come in. And I have a sunroof I'm on the loft. This is my playground, and I have 2 sunroofs. So those plants get a lot of sunlight, especially summer. So there's some plants I wouldn't put over here at all because too much sunlight's not good, but they get sunlight and they make me feel good. And again, some of my plants that's just wilding out and growing like crazy and not looking aesthetically pleasing, I leave them alone. Let them be. This lady over here, she wild, but she's my baby, and she gonna keep getting wild, and she keep growing. She took over an entire table, and I'm fine with that. I like the jungle look. Yeah, I'm that person. All right, so let's go and talk about some big books. Yay! All right, let me set up my camera. Hey guys, so let's get into some books. Now, I did not do well this year with big books. Most of the books I read was on the 300 page. I did not read that many. I consider big books 500 and up. And I always try to get a few of those chunky big books. Like, I love when I see people complete a big book and I'm like, oh, it's just that feeling of completing a big book is so much different than a book that's like 200-300 pages. And that's what I've been reading. So even though I read the most book this year, they were not big books at all. So I have 5 big books. Yeah. And I want to read them this year. And I find that I'm going to start off the year with at least one big book. And I think that if the momentum get me, then I feel like I can push and get all these done. And the goal is to get these done the first 6 months of the year. Am I setting myself up? Maybe. But let's get into it. Dombey and Son. This is Charles Dickens. I'm a Dickens girl. Through and through. I'm a Dickens girl. And I find that I have not picked up a Dickens this year. And I don't remember if I read a Dickens last year. Did I? Probably not. I own 3 Dickens that I haven't read. I've read 9 Dickens. I think 9 or 10 Dickens. And I own 3 that I haven't read out of the 9. Out of the collection I have. So that's what? I have 13, I think, Dickens. So this one I attempted to read and then I had stopped. I got 100 page in. 100 page in. 100 and yeah, because this is 101 page in. And this one, I'm going to read a little bit. A lot of these I'm not going to read the whole back, but let's just start with Paul Dombey. Business and all, money can do anything. He runs his family like he runs his firm, coldly, calculatingly, and commercially. The only person he cares about is his little son, while his motherless daughter, Florence, is merely a bare coin that can't be invested. As Dombey callously extended to others, from his defiant second wife Edith to Florence's admirer Walter Gay, he sowed the seeds of his own destruction. So that just sounds like I would be into this. I want to say this is one of his books that I've heard people really, Dickens followers really enjoy and like. And I'm a Dickens girl. I can say it up my whole chest. I'm a Dickens girl. So for those who've been following me for a while know I was one of those people that was reading a lot of Dickens. And I buddy read some with Dee Dee from Brown Girl Reading. And I know that I need to get back to my Dickens. I need to keep reading, and because my goal eventually is to read all his work. And I'm getting there. I'm getting there. So yeah. Then this year I got into George Eliot. And I've been wanting to read Middlemarch. And Middlemarch is another one that I'm like, you know what? Let's get to this. So this one is basically giving me where it's fortune, humanity facilitated in a Providence community, and it's really giving me like a journey within a community, and it has it says a young idolist whose search for intellectual fulfillment lead her into a disastrous marriage. That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know. And this one was published, when was this one published? So give me a timeline of the kind of situation she's going to be in. It's only telling me this copyright, but it's not giving me, not sure guys, not sure. But classic, gotta get into it. Alright, so the next book is going to be The Confidence of Water. And let me tell you, this was an Oprah pick. And I wanted to read it back in 2023. I thought I was going to get to it that fall. Never did. And then I said, oh yeah, 2024. Never happened. I am going to read this. I want to start the year off with this book. I really want to start the year with this book. So if you guys have this book and you want to read the beginning of the year with me, let's do this. It's winter. It's cold as hell. No one wants to be outside. I sure don't. So I figure, you know, give me some big book. I can get through this. And the goal is to read this in January. Yeah. So it says, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but at the turn of the century, a 12-year-old girl from Kiara Christian community, grieved the death of her father, is sent by boat to her wedding, where she will meet her 40-year-old husband for the first time. From this unfortunate new beginning, the young girl and her future matriarch, Big Amachi, will witness unthinkable changes over the span of her extraordinary life, full of joy and triumphs as well as hardship and loss. Her faith and love, the only constance. Sorry. 12-year-old getting married off. This chunky beast. But I'm hearing it's good. I'm hearing it's good. I'm here for it. Oh, honorary blurb the front. Yeah. We're gonna Embola blurb this as well. So we're gonna start the year off with this. We get into this. Then there's a book I asked for last year. It was a Christmas gift. It was one of those Secret Santa, and I wanted, you get to pick like 3 things you wanted, and I put all 3 things, and I got all 3 things. And one of the book was Barbara Streisand's memoir. And look at her. The only thing with this is there's photos. There's photos. So I feel like I might be able to get through this and not, you know, I love Barbara Streisand. I'm a huge fan of her movies, her music. Yeah, Guilty, Woman in Love, Memory. I'm a fan. So I wanted to read her memoir, but I wanted to just be in the mood for it. And I feel like this is going to be the year for me to be in the mood for her. So we're going to get to it. Then we have the smallest book on the list. This one is over 500 page. And I was hoping, yeah, it's like 530 some page. This is the smallest of all of the books. I wanted to get to this. It's a Caribbean author, you know, represent a Trini. Pretty sure she's Trini. Yes, she was born in Trinidad, lives in London. Yes. So I wanted to get to her book this year. Didn't happen. I've heard so many good things about this book. So I feel like it is definitely going to be a book read this year. Preferably, I'm probably going to read it closer to spring. But I want to get through the more longer ones, and then I'll get to this last. So yeah, so these are... Woohoo! So these are all the books. Yes, all the books. The 5 big books. Not all the books, because who knows what else I might add in the mix. But these are the 5 big books. I feel like if I read these, I will feel so accomplished that I completed the big book. Because big books can sometimes be a bit intimidated if, you know, you feel like you don't want to commit to just to be reading this for a long time. You know, when you think of big books, I always think of big books as in each book is probably about 3 different books I could have read. And that kind of idea of it's just one book, when you know, it's an unnecessary bookage problem. Nevertheless, I'm happy that I'm going to commit. I'm going to put these to the side. These are going to be on my TBR section, and I plan on reading this. And again, if you are interested, we're starting January off with this book. All right, guys, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. So let me know for my plant girlies, my plant men, how do you love plants? Do you own a lot of plants? How do you take care of your plants? Are you like me, where you just let them be? Or if you one of those plant lovers who are always doing extras to your plant, giving your plant. Oh, one thing I didn't mention is I want to give my plants coffee. That's it. Coffee. Every so now and then I might give them some eggshell. I will crank up some eggshell and put in there in the soil. But most of the time it's literally just coffee, and it's not often. Probably, I say I give coffee maybe around 3 times for the year. They'll get a little bit of coffee, and that's it. That is all they get from me. So yeah, but let me know how you feel about that, and also have you read any of these books? How do you like them? And if you're going to join me and, you know, read any of these. So I will see you in the next video, guys. All right. Ooh, these books are heavy. Like, I don't even know how I'm going to be moving around with this one. Like, even though I think Barbra Streisand book is the heaviest out of all of them. But I'm going to be traveling with this. Take the dust jacket off and make it happen. All right. See you in the next one, guys. Bye.